The fight for equality has been one of the most defining struggles in the history of the United States. And at the heart of this battle is the relentless fight of Black people for civil rights. It is a struggle that spans centuries, rooted in a legacy of enslavement, oppression, and marginalization. Yet, it is also a tale of resilience, resistance, and hope, a fight that has shaped the nation's identity and continues to push the boundaries of justice and equality. The story of the fight for Black civil rights begins long before the civil rights movement of the mid-20th century. It can be traced back to the earliest days of slavery, when enslaved Africans were forcibly brought to the American colonies. For over 200 years, Black people were denied basic human rights and freedoms. Forced to live in bondage, their lives controlled by laws and customs that deemed them less than human. Despite this, the seeds of resistance were sown, and a rich history of rebellion and defiance against the system of slavery emerged. From the Haitian Revolution to the resistance of Nat Turner, Gabriel Prosser, and Denmark Vesey, there were constant efforts to challenge the status quo. The abolitionist movement, which gained momentum in the 19th century, was a direct response to the brutality of slavery. Figures like Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, and Sojourner Truth became iconic leaders in the fight to end slavery and secure freedom for Black Americans. Their courage and determination set the stage for the Civil War and, ultimately, the Emancipation Proclamation, which would bring an end to slavery in 1865. However, while slavery was abolished, the fight for equality was far from over. The post-Reconstruction era saw the rise of segregation, disenfranchisement, and institutionalized racism. Black people, particularly in the South, were subjected to Jim Crow laws that enforced racial separation and denied them basic rights, including the right to vote. The end of Reconstruction in 1877 marked the beginning of nearly a century of oppressive laws and violent practices aimed at keeping Black people in a subordinate position. This period saw the rise of white supremacy groups like the Ku Klux Klan, who terrorized Black communities with lynchings, bombings, and intimidation. Despite this, Black Americans did not succumb to despair. They fought back in every way they could through legal challenges, economic boycotts, grassroots activism, and artistic expression. One of the most significant moments in the early 20th century was the formation of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, in 1909. The NAACP became a powerful force in the fight for civil rights, using the legal system to challenge segregation and discrimination. It was in this period that landmark cases like Brown v. Board of Education, 1954, which declared segregation in public schools unconstitutional, began to reshape the legal landscapes. Cabs. Here is my piece, so canargua sets concrete sense of sense with our sensat sense succiccacara sipactis curse to bites of you come up to take up I to the set it with die dari you mama moe sempemism a day the stay do sit bus vibes this mummy in see the guest the if I'm on the nice that this. By the time the 1950s and 1960s rolled around, the stage was set for one of the most transformative periods in American history, the Civil Rights Movement. Led by figures such as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, and many others, the movement brought the struggle for Black equality to the forefront of national consciousness. Nonviolent protests, marches, and sit-ins became powerful tools of resistance against the system of segregation and discrimination. The 1963 March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, where Dr. King delivered his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech, stands as one of the most poignant moments in the struggle for civil rights. The movement's efforts were focused on dismantling institutionalized racism and ensuring that Black people could exercise their rights as full citizens' rights to vote, work, and live without fear of discrimination. The passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965 marked monumental achievements in the fight for equality, prohibiting discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, and protecting the right to vote for Black Americans, particularly in the South. Yet, the struggle did not end with these legislative victories. The aftermath of the Civil Rights Movement saw the rise of the Black Power movement, with leaders like Stokely Carmichael and the Black Panther Party advocating for self-determination, economic independence, and armed self-defense. This marked a shift in the tactics of the struggle, moving from integration to empowerment and solidarity within Black communities. In the years since the Civil Rights Movement, the fight for equality has continued. While legal segregation ended, economic disparities, systemic racism, and police brutality remain deeply entrenched in American society. The 1990s saw the rise of the #Black Lives Matter movement, which was sparked by the police shooting of Trayvon Martin and further fueled by the deaths of Michael Brown, Tamir Rice, Eric Garner, and others. The Black Lives Matter movement has continued to shed light on the ongoing struggles of Black people and has become a powerful force in calling for justice, police reform, and an end to racial profiling. The fight for Black civil rights is not just a historical narrative, it is a present-day reality. It is a fight that is ongoing, one that spans generations, and one that touches every aspect of American life. From education to healthcare, from employment to housing, Black people continue to face discrimination in both overt and subtle forms. The struggle for racial justice is far from over, but the legacy of those who fought before us provides the foundation for continued resistance. The fight for equality is not just the responsibility of Black Americans, it is the responsibility of all of us. The dream of a racially just society is one that we must all work toward together. The fight for civil rights is a fight for humanity, for dignity, and for the fundamental belief that all people, regardless of their race, their background, or their circumstances, deserve to be treated with respect and equality. It is a fight that calls on us to examine our own biases, to confront the systems that perpetuate inequality, and to stand in solidarity with those who continue to push for change. The road to equality has been long, and it has been hard. But the strength, the courage, and the resilience of Black people in their fight for civil rights is a testament to the power of collective action, the importance of community, and the unwavering belief in the possibility of a better, more just world. The fight is not over, But the legacy of the struggle for Black equality remains one of the most powerful forces for change in the history of the United States, and its impact will continue to resonate for generations to come.